Yay, here we go. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming here this evening. I'm so happy to see your beautiful faces. Like this is bringing me so much joy to see, I mean, Kara and Wendy, your cameras aren't on, but it's okay. But Anna, Court, Irene, Nico, thank you so much for coming. I'm just so happy to see you here. I'm going am I recording? I am recording. Great. I'm going to share my screen with you guys and then we're going to get started right away so that you're not held up for too long. Share. Doo-doo. Okay. Do you see my screen? Yay. Okay.
It's saying loading. It's just saying loading for us here.
Oh, okay. Your screen sharing is paused. Oh, why?
Maybe try like closing your share and then re-sharing.
Okay. Stop share. And then what is this? Nico, I see your hand up, but yeah, it's just so you tell me that you hate Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see what's happening. It's actually when I put the slide full screen, it won't let me share it.
So just
It's okay. Just have it
do it.
open at the same time. It's okay.
Exit full screen. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm usually really good with computers.
You are.
I I usually am.
Maybe just go out of full screen first with your presentation and then do share screen.
Smart cookie. You're a smart cookie, Jared. Yeah. Might just have to do it without, guys.
Can you email them to me fast? Or messenger something?
But you used to see them, right?
Yeah. However you're yeah, we see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to keep it on that. Great. Thank you guys for being so patient. All right, so we're here tonight because we'll be organizing yet another Spring Community Health Reset. Okay, we like to do this at least twice a year, if not more, because there's a lot of nutrient deficiencies in the world right now. Okay, we're living in a fast-paced world. We're trying to feed like a global population that is growing all the time. So we've got a lot of pesticides, we've got a lot of herbicides going on. There's a lot, a lot of people are trying to eat organic and GMO free, like it's our food system is a mess. Okay, to put it simply, our food system is a mess right now, and what we're used to eating and consuming on the daily has changed so much in the past 50 years, in the past 100 years. And so we're people who are very inspired by health and wellness, very inspired by food. I'm a big foodie. If you ask anyone who knows me, it's like Kiev eats all the food all the time. You want to have a food party, like I'm there. Okay. But with all of that comes the need for us to reset our health a little bit, because we're consuming so many herbicides, so many pesticides, so many toxins in the life that we live in, living this fast-paced life in the city with cars, and it's just like, it's so we need this. Our bodies need this. We need a reset. We need to start over a little bit and start eating cleaner. Okay, so this is what it's about. If you're here, okay, it's because you're looking for something. And I want you to ask yourself the question, I love this question, is, are you healthy? Okay, and what does health represent for you? Okay, if you're here, it's because there's something that I'm doing that resonated with you. Okay, and what I'm doing in life is just sharing, what I love to do. I'm sharing the food that I eat. I'm sharing about eating clean, and I'm sharing about being healthy, because to me, there's nothing more important than that. Anyone who has been sick in their life will tell you nothing matters more than your health, because if you don't have that, you've got nothing. Okay, so I'm a mom of two. I've got two young sisters. I've got my mom who's still very, very young and healthy and fit and wonderful. Like, I don't want to be sick. And so so that I can keep caring for all these people, and for me to be here for all these people, and to be here in the best way that I can be. Okay, so this is why food is so important to me, and not just about health, but I also think food is community. That's a whole other topic, but like, food is the most important thing in my life. Like, I believe that food is medicine. I really truly believe that, because I believe that we are what we eat. All right, I always picture that the cells in our body have to be created from something. And what can they be created from? Well, the things that we're putting in our body, right? So whether that is food, whether those are thoughts, whether it's cream, like whatever it is you're putting in your body, all the information we're putting in our body, all the knowledge we're putting in our body, that is what we become. Okay, so I want you to ask yourselves once again, are you healthy? And what is it that you want to change? What is it that is triggering you to be here right now? What is it, are you feeling any symptoms by any chance, or do you feel like you'd like to lose a little bit of weight? Are you bloated? Are you tired? Are you anxious? Do you have eczema? Do you have asthma? Do you have, any of these things are all health related. And so I want to ask you, are you healthy? I was about to start sharing my story, but we're going to wait a little bit. I'll share my story with you in just a little bit. So I ask that because the food that we eat today is not the same as the food that we were eating 50, 100 years ago, okay? And nowadays we have this herbicide called glyphosate. If you haven't heard about it yet, you'll hear about it now. And now that you know about it, you're going to hear about it over and over and over again. So glyphosate was actually used in Monsanto's Roundup. Okay, and so it was an herbicide used for in agriculture. It was a great idea at some point, right? Where we needed to grow more food for people, and so you had somebody who engineered this, and so that we're growing more food, right? But the problem is, eventually, like tobacco, we thought it was once healthy, and then we realized it causes cancer. Well, eventually we realized that glyphosate can actually be very, very, very dangerous, and has now been named a carcinogen. Okay, so it's being banned in California, it's being banned in Quebec in some places. There's not a national ban yet, but the problem with glyphosate is that, when you look at agriculture, anything you're spraying onto your crops, anything that are in your crops, it's not going anywhere. It goes into the soil, it goes into the runoff, it goes into the water, and what happens? It comes back, right? So glyphosate is something now that is in our parks, it's on our food, it's in the air, it's in the water that we drink, it's all over the place, and there's no way to escape it. Okay, so that is what glyphosate, you see, there's a lot of this happening where people grow our food. Okay, people have to be masked in suits to grow our food. Like, I don't feel great about that. Okay, so how does glyphosate affect us? Okay, well, it interferes. Yay, we've got Heather joining us. I love Heather. So how does glyphosate affect us? Well, actually, there are studies that are coming out that Hey Heather, thank you. So it's been linked to obesity. You have it written here: Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, other health problems. Cancer is one of them that I just said. And so glyphosate is affecting us in so many different ways, okay? And it's also causing something called leaky gut. If you haven't heard of leaky gut yet, get prepared to hear about it a lot from now on. Okay, so leaky gut is it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, it's your gut not absorbing the nutrients that you're putting inside your body. It's as simple as that. Okay, so glyphosate also helps the leaky gut. Okay. So this is problem number one. Problem number two, and I've already mentioned it, but I just wanted you to look at this really quickly. This is a graph about the decline in nutrients, okay, between 1950 to 1999. So this is already 30 years old, okay? So it's even worse now. Basically, nowadays, you know, when you eat an apple, it's not the same as when you ate an apple in the 40s, okay? You don't have the same nutrients. The soils are depleted, okay? So they have less minerals, less, you know, they've got less minerals, and so the food that we're growing are actually nutrient deficient compared to the food that we were growing, you know, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, when we didn't have all these chemicals in the soil and when we weren't using so much monoculture, right? Right now, we're seeing that what's important is using permaculture a little bit more, right? Going back to organic, going back to the roots, going back to how we used to do it, right? So this is what's happening. Okay, so these are our two problems. Number one, we've got glyphosate everywhere. Number two, there aren't as many nutrients in the food that we eat as there once was. Okay. And so this is where I come in. This is where I'm trying to make a difference in the world. And this is where Allison and Jared, who are here and are going to share their story with us, come and help make an impact in the world. Okay. My name is Kieve. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a certified functional nutrition counselor. I really, I do it because it's my passion. I became certified just because I was passionate about learning more about health. I was passionate about how food affects our health and our wellness. Like I said, I've been a foodie forever. I went plant-based over 15 years ago. So I had to learn a lot about how to cook and you know, what new meals to prepare when you stop eating meat, for example. And so I'm just very, very passionate about this subject. So I became a certified functional nutrition counselor, but I am also an artist. I'm a jeweler. I'm a photographer. I'm somebody who loves to live life and learn as much as I can and just, you know, inspire people to do a little better and live a little better. And I do have two sons. And so that's a little bit about me and who I am. And what I want to share is where I was now 5 years ago. Okay. So 5 years ago, I had two businesses. I had my son, who was 2.5 at the time, and I was an insomniac. You know, I'm somebody who's very healthy in life. I'm so grateful for that. I've never had any health issues, anything of the sort. But I did become an insomniac, and I was always tired. I was exhausted. And people kept telling me, like, yeah, it's because you're doing too much. You're always doing too much. And I was like, well, I've always been like that. You know, this isn't new. I've always been somebody who's moving around, who's doing things, you know, who's meeting people and going out and you know, like I've always been a very active person, and I knew within myself that there was something off. And at first, you know what I thought it was? Because every time we have some sort of health issue, we're blaming it on something, right? We're trying to find the cause, and we're just like, oh, well, you know, for me, I was pregnant, and anyone who's been pregnant here knows that at some point during your pregnancy, you're very uncomfortable sleeping. You're not sleeping on your belly anymore. You're trying to sleep on your side. You can't sleep on your back because the doctors are telling you to. It's like, it's a whole thing, right? So at first I was like, okay, well, it's a pregnancy. And then after that, my baby came into the world, and then I was nursing. And so obviously I was nursing at night. And then when I stopped nursing, so, you know, I wasn't sleeping then. And then when I stopped nursing, I was like, Ashley's coming in. And then when I stopped nursing, I was still not sleeping. And I was blaming it on my biological clock not being set back, okay, from the nursing and from the pregnancy. So you know what happens when you're not energized and you feel tired all the time? I was drinking 5 to 10 coffees a day. And you know what happens when you drink that much coffee? You get addicted to it. And so my addiction to coffee was that on the days that I didn't drink it, I had a migraine. And that's how I would remember to have my coffee. Like I would have a migraine. I was like, why do I have a migraine? I'd be like, oh my God, I didn't have a coffee. Okay. Double down on the coffee, triple down on the coffee, 4 or 5 coffees, like I was just that's what I was doing. And that's where I was at. I never thought that it was the food that I ate because I was eating very healthy though. That's something that, I was 18 years old and at 18 years old, like I was already eating clean, eating healthy, like that was me. So I never thought that it could be the food. And then I met up with Allison, who was a dear friend of mine that I had known, today I've known her for 20 years. And at the time I had known her for 15 years and we went for coffee, which wasn't a real coffee. And she introduced me to this. And at first I was very reluctant. I was like, this is some green stuff coming in a powder. I want nothing to do with it. Okay. Like I was like, if it's in powder form, it's my herbs and spices. It's like cinnamon and salt, otherwise I'm not touching it. Because I didn't trust that. And she took out the little bag and she showed me the ingredients. And all of a sudden, when I read the ingredients, I was like, oh my God, this is real food. There was chia and buckwheat and spirulina, all these amazing superfoods and all organic, all put into one. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like I'm already using a bunch of this, putting them in my smoothie every morning. This is going to be super easy. And so to encourage my friend, well, I bought so much stuff, almost $1,000 worth of stuff. Okay. To give you like the real number. And I started taking these products and I started doing the cleanse. And within 2 months, I wrote in my journal, because I don't remember this. It's written in my journal. That's how I remember. It's like, I'm feeling good. Like I'm not so tired. I feel energized. I don't know if this is what it is. I don't know what's happening. It's the only thing that I changed, but it might be that. Somewhere along that time, guys, I stopped drinking coffee without knowing it. It's just one day I woke up and I was like, man, I haven't had a coffee in 4 days. And I was like, that's strange because when I don't drink coffee, I usually get migraines. And then I realized it's because I had replaced that habit with another habit. But the new habit was actually just fueling my body with raw, nutrient-dense whole foods. And so my body was getting exactly what it needed, exactly what it wanted to be energized and feel good. Fast forward another couple months, like I said, I had a lot of products. I ran out. And when I ran out, guess what I started doing? I started complaining. To the best person in the world who listens to me complain, that would be my partner. And I was complaining that I was exhausted and tired. And he had never touched any of these products, right? And he looked at me, he said, are you still using that Purium stuff? And I said, no, actually I ran out. And I didn't place another order because like, why would I? And he said, well, maybe you should try again. Listen, I placed another order and I have not missed a single order since. Okay. And that was almost 5 years ago. So that is my story. And I want to share Allison and Jared's story because we have different stories and they're both very relatable for different kinds of people. And Allison and Jared's story is something that I witnessed. Like I've known Allison for 20 years now. I've known Jared since my kid was born. So 8 years now. I knew them before they started this. I knew them before they started this transformation. And I have seen them transform even more than I have. Okay. Like I have seen them go from like broke, bloated with bad issues, bad skin issues, digestive issues, with on all sorts of meds. Like I have seen them transform and then change drastically. It is one of the most drastic and beautiful transformations I ever witnessed, which is why I love to invite them to share. And so I'll go on to the next slide. This is them. This is Jared and Allison. And they've gone through so much healing, physically, mentally, emotionally. They also are parents of 2 beautiful girls that are like the daughters I'll never have, pretty much. And they're founders of Kind Human Kitchen, leaders of the Kind Human Tribe. And I would really love it if you guys can come and share your story. And then we can and then we can move on.
Thank you so much, Kieve. What a beautiful introduction. And Beautiful slides. I'm so honored to be here today with you. Yeah, so our story began 6 years ago, like Kieve said, like how she started saying that we normalize a lot of these little issues. Like I totally thought my skin issues I suffered with my whole life were just genetic because my mother had skin issues. And I always just told myself I have sensitive skin. And then I tried, things, I tried everything. So for my skin issues, I know, and for my mental health issues, I suffered so much, and Kieve knew me before then as well. So she really got to see that where I was at mentally and what this did for me. Like what happened for me is I really went into this like Kieve, kind of a little bit reluctant, a little bit skeptical, not having any expectation. I actually was also doing it to support a friend who shared this with me, and I really trusted this friend. Actually, she's a functional medicine doctor, and when she saw my eczema and knew some of the mental health issues that I was dealing with, I was on medications for depression and anxiety, and a sleeping pill and a focus pill for my ADD. She was just like, you really need to do a gut repair. And I thought I was doing everything right. Like I could not have imagined eating any better. I was already juicing. Jared and I got a juicer for our wedding, the most expensive juicer on the market. So we were we were living right near the Atwater Market. So I was getting everything from the market, and I was juicing, and I was doing all these different, actually a lot of the same things that are in the Purium products. Like I was doing a lot of mushrooms and herbs, and just adding in all of these, everything I can find, I just was doing. And I also was plant-based because my daughter was allergic to dairy, so we had cut out all the dairy, which did improve my health as well. Seeing that like certain things that as we cut out, because we cut out the processed food and the dairy, and I really noticed some improvement. And so I knew that nutrition was a huge factor to what I was dealing with, but I couldn't get to the root of my issues because I still suffered with certain, like I said, the skin issues. I would have these flare-ups out of nowhere, and I couldn't make sense of it because like I wasn't even eating anything that could it was like different things that were causing it. I did not know about glyphosate at this time. So actually the person who introduced it to me, she educated me on glyphosate, which is a word I had never heard before. And as I started, so the protocol, we'll get into it, you'll hear more, but it's a glyphosate detox is one of the products that what it does. And another, each product has like it's like filling in all the gaps, and it's just such complete nutrition. It's really easy. And I started like Kieve, I was drinking coffee every single morning because I was addicted to my sleeping pills, that vicious cycle where you need caffeine, something to stimulate you, to wake you up, because the sleeping pills, they zonk you out and then you're really groggy the next day. And as a mom, I had to, be really functional. I had trouble keeping jobs, I'll be honest, with my mental health and with juggling with the children. I really struggled. I was working freelance styling. I was doing, as Kieve may remember, I was doing health bowls in St. Henry I was doing St. Henry vegan, kind of like a little catering. I was doing another company that I started called Eco Mummy's Kitchen, just environmental, reusable, like kitchen supplies. So I was like, I was really trying all these things. I was very stressed out because it was very hard for me to, to juggle all of this as a mom. And anyway, when I started to take in some of this food as it was, I just added it in, I noticed that I I just stopped drinking coffee. And it wasn't even like I really thought about it, because if the person who introduced it to me said I can't drink any coffee. That's why I don't never tell anyone, like, just let this meet you exactly where you are. Because when she told me about it, she said, just drink your green juice first, because I want you to absorb. I was very iron deficient. And as Kieve said, a lot of people are suffering with deficiencies, not because they're not getting the nutrition, not because it's because our food is very depleted of these nutrients and minerals, and also because our body's not absorbing what they used to because of our leaky gut. So she told me basically just don't have coffee at the same time as your green juice, because it's going to counterbalance, or it's going to leach the absorption of the iron and the vitamin C. So that was great advice. I waited until after my green juice was digested for an hour, and then I would, think, okay, great, I can go have my coffee. But what happened was really quickly, I would go to make my coffee. What I started noticing was I just didn't want it anymore. So I stopped drinking coffee very naturally, which was awesome. I just had so much energy. And then what also happened is I started to fall asleep before taking my sleeping pill. A few nights, I just fell asleep, and I woke up in the morning having such a great night's sleep, such a deep sleep, and like just, really, really a restful sleep, waking up and being like, oh my God, I didn't even remember to take my sleeping pill last night. And it's just such a good feeling to get that empowerment to start breaking those dependencies that I had for so long. And then Jared watched me improve the things I started to improve right away. I know Nico's mom here was just sharing a little bit at the beginning, but my skin, it was like everyone at work was asking me. I was working part-time a little bit with Jared, and I remember the first things people would notice, like everyone was saying, your skin is glowing, and it was in the middle of winter. And they were like, did you go away somewhere? Like, what are you using on your skin? I was getting all these questions and compliments, and I always had such bad skin my whole life. So these compliments were so meaningful to me. And I just appreciated so much how my skin was glowing, and I felt so radiant without makeup. And I started to feel confident about that. And so Jared, he noticed the improvements as well. And he started to dabble and drink he wasn't following the protocol like I was following it more strictly, but he was just adding in the green juice. And I'll let Jared share his experience.
Yeah, thanks so much. Definitely noticed big changes in Allison mentally and physically. And I was skeptical at first. Like Kieve was saying, it was just like a green powder. I thought it was maybe some kind of quick fix thing or something. But when I realized that at its core, it's just organic whole food. It's just unadulterated, unprocessed. There's no chemicals in it from sprout to finished product. So it's a testament to just what happens when you ingest that quality of food consistently every day. And for me personally, I lost about 30 pounds in 2 months. And my asthma and my allergies disappeared. So since birth, I had these two chronic conditions that I had just normalized. I thought that was just that's who I am. I have breathing issues, but it turns out this is gut related. And when you detoxify and you absorb nutrition effectively, then a lot of these chronic conditions that people normalize, that they're not actually normal. Just because they're common doesn't mean it's normal to be sick like that or have deficiencies. So this goes for the root cause, and it's very easy to do. I wouldn't have done it if it was complicated or didn't taste amazing. I would have just gave up probably the first couple of days. But I love the power shake. I jump out of bed in the morning excited to have it. And it's just really amazing because this is something that people, when they first hear about it, they have presumptions that it's it's like everything else, but there's nothing else like
because we were actually doing a green powder as well. We had a few other superfoods that we were using, and Jared was the one. Okay, Jared was really skeptical about it. He was way more he actually, was looking forward to it not working so he could return it and get our money back. And it was actually when we ran out that it was Jared who wanted to reorder, right? Because it he did not want to run out of that green juice. It just
feels so much better taking it than it does off of it. And this is why people stick with it.
Yeah. And I just want to share. So since then, I got off 5 medications. I've been off of now for 5 years, never even relapsed. I take this, it's very sacred. When we went off of it for a little bit, when we were in Belize, a few of our issues came back. His allergies came back. My eczema and my daughter's eczema came back. As soon as we got back on the biomedic and the green juice and the whole lifestyle, everything went away again. So it's it's just you know, when you see how good life can feel when your body has the right environment, and the right, like, you know, support, it's just amazing. You don't want to go back to the old ways. It just, yeah, next level.
Thank you for letting us share, Kieve. Thank you, everybody.
And our daughters take it every day as well.
Right.
Just FYI, it tastes so good. Our daughters ask for it every single morning. They have their Epigenia shake and they love it. And it helps them so much.
Hey, mon ami, you're on mute.
Kev, you're on
You're on mute, huh? Quitadores, media.
You made me talk this whole time.
I can't see you. There you go.
Oh, but yeah, the thing, you know, likewise, what I was saying in my muted self was, same thing in my house. Like my kids fight me for it, you know, like my 2-year-old, I make my own green juice and he's like screaming at me to have it. You know, it's a whole thing. And my eldest has been drinking it since he was 2.5. He's 7 now. He'll be 8 this year, and he's been drinking it this whole time. So that says a lot about the taste. You know, a lot of people have misconceptions about what a green juice tastes like. Okay, if your kid drinks it, it's good. Okay. So we've heard a little bit of the benefits of this cleanse, of this gut health reset. But in case we missed out on any of them, we're just going to reiterate a little bit. So increase energy levels. That's me. Activate cellular detoxification. So this is amazing. We're detoxing cells, pretty much. I thought Allison was going to say something, but I guess not. We're reducing unhealthy fat. We're creating lean muscle. That's with the super aminos. We're eliminating glyphosate. So this, by the way, actually, we'll talk about it a little later, but we are the only company that has a product that has had preclinical trials of how to remove glyphosate. Okay, but we're going to get there. So repair the gut microbiome. So that means, you know, we're fixing the inner lining of the microbiome so that we can absorb the nutrients properly. Okay, so our food is already nutrient deficient, and then it gets it's picked before it's ripe, and then it's transported for miles for days and days and days. And then we're eating it, and then we're still not absorbing the little bit of nutrients that are still left in that food. Okay, so because we have leaky gut, right? So we're restoring the inner lining of the gut so that we can absorb the little bit of nutrients left in the food. We're improving digestion. People who have a hard time going to the bathroom, this is also very fun. Reduce bloating, deep sleep, we've done that. Improved mood and focus, that's Allison. And support healthy inflammatory response. Okay, so there are a lot of benefits to this cleanse. Okay, and what's great about it is that we're doing it with food. Okay, and it's not complicated. We were talking with Irene right before this call started, and she vouches, right, Irene? You vouch that this is very easy. She's on day 5. Day 5 is very easy, and she's feeling great. This is a slide of some of the foods that we're going to be eating. So this is not a restrictive diet. This isn't even a diet, okay? This is, you know, you're going by addition, okay? You're adding the ultimate lifestyle transformation. This is what we're calling it. You're adding these products, okay? And it's going to meet you where you're at. So if you don't want to stop drinking coffee, you know, just because Allison and I did doesn't mean that you have to stop drinking coffee, okay? So this is really, you're not, that's why it's so easy. It's not restrictive in any way, okay? So here's the fun part. Now you're wondering, like, what are they even talking about? Okay, what are these products? What is it? You know, and this is where we're going to share with you exactly what the ultimate lifestyle transformation is. And this is, you know, this is what we've been doing. This is what we've been doing for the past 5 years, 5 years for myself, 6 years for Allison and Jared. And this is what it is. So basically, the ultimate lifestyle transformation is a whole package. It's got 5 products in it that you're taking daily. Okay. Sorry. that you're taking daily. And this is how you're nourishing your body through the 90 days. Okay. Ideally, you're starting this for 90 days because it takes 90 days to create a healthy habit. Okay. And then after that, you maintain the lifestyle. Okay. So we'll start by introducing the power shake. So the power shake is easy. This is the green juice. There it is. It's got 14 ingredients in it. When you drink it, it's the equivalent of having 12 organic microgreen salads, okay, which is impossible to eat in real life. It's very nutrient dense. So this is great. You know, you can use it as a meal replacement if you want. It's not really what it's there for. You know, I have 1 or 2 a day. It's great for reducing cravings. So anytime you want a snack, you know, you can have a power shake. First thing in the morning that we do, we have a power shake. Okay. So this is what's going to help you increase your energy levels, reduce cravings, detoxify cells. And so what happens here is all these plants were actually picked when they were ripe. Okay, unlike all the food that we're buying in supermarkets now, these plants were picked at peak ripeness and dehydrated at low temperature so that we keep the nutrients of the plant. So as soon as you add water to them, you're activating the enzymes of the plant. So it's as if you're eating it fresh, okay? So it's very nutrient dense. We have the biomedic. Allison, did you want to talk about biomedic? Because I think it's your favorite.
Sure, I will. Yeah, so this is the gut repair. My goodness. And I had done other gut repairs in the past. I was doing pre and probiotics as well. There's nothing that you see the result, you feel the results this fast and so effective. And like Kieve said, it detoxes glyphosate, which, you know, we don't even know how we're suffering until we start detoxing it. And the gut is our brain. So for our happy chemicals that we create, the happy hormones like serotonin and Sarah, the Irene sign is cute. The serotonin and dopamine are created in the gut. And so I didn't know that by taking an SSRI for so long, I was depleting my own production of these hormones. And so I had to rebuild my gut microbiome so I could actually start to produce them again. And now I'm just like, I swear by it for people with mental health issues. Our gut is our brain, and we rewire our brain and our thoughts through our gut. And then for issues like what Jared had, asthma and allergies are often caused by inflammation. So is mental health, by the way, also inflammation. A lot of issues we don't realize at the bottom are inflammation in the body. And this is also not only proven to remove glyphosate, but also reduce, and this is in clinical studies, this is in third-party validated studies, that it shows it reduces the C-reactive protein, which is the biomarker of inflammation in the body, by 75% in 6 weeks. So that's a really huge, these are huge benefits, and everyone feels a benefit from it, from healing their gut. And all disease, as Hippocrates said, all disease begins in the gut. So we really need to address the gut. And it's such we're constantly having glyphosate, whether we're eating organic or not, we're exposed to it. So really the whole world, I wish I can just get this to the whole world. The whole world should be on biomedic, because we're all exposed to it. And this is just the safest way. I give it to my kids. I can open it up, put it in their food. My kids now ask me to open up the biomedic and put it in their food. I'm like, really? Like, who are you? But they're like, can you put biomedic in my, so they know, they feel, I don't know. I think the energy of this food, it resonates. People feel it. And so yeah, that's the biomedic.
Yay, thank you. The super aminos. Okay, so the super aminos, at first I was super reluctant as well. But these are it's pre-digested protein, pretty much. Okay, so they're made with fermented legumes. Okay, and they're directly absorbed into the bloodstream. Sorry. So this is great for people who fast. Okay, anyone who does intermittent fasting, it's great because it actually doesn't break your fast, because it's absorbed directly into your bloodstream. Okay, so A lot of people are always concerned about, protein, where am I going to get my protein? Well, these are the building blocks of protein. So this will help you build muscle, okay, and burn fat. We're building muscle, we're burning fat, which is fun. It's really great for your skin. So that Purium glow, okay, that Allison was talking about, I actually forgot about that. When I started this, people were also looking at me like, why is your face glowing? And it was really, and that was the word, like people couldn't find another word to it. It was really like that glow. You've got that glow. Well, the super aminos really help with that. Okay. It's helping with your skin elasticity. So it's becoming tight. This is like collagen in a bottle. Okay. This is, it's great. I'll take it in the afternoon before a workout. It's amazing. First thing in the morning with a big glass of water. It's great for mental focus as well. So these are the super amino. Am I missing something on those? No, I got it covered, right? Yeah. The next, my ultimate favorite is the apothecary. This is 100% tart cherry extract, okay? Organic tart cherry extract. Basically, you see a lot of people nowadays, they're struggling with sleep. They're getting all these sleeping pills. They're buying melatonin that's synthetically made in a lab. They're buying that at the pharmacy. Well, this is a better, healthier alternative. Just tart cherry, and it's very thick. Some people are buying it in health stores, and when they compare it to this one, they're like, oh wow, this one is so potent. This helps you create your own melatonin. Okay, this is helping you, like it's helping your circadian rhythm. Okay, so this is amazing. You can have it, it's 2 tablespoons. You can mix it with water. What I like to do with my son is I mix it with I was gonna say I mix it with apothecary. I mix it with bubbly water. I put it in a wine glass and I pretend I'm fancy. And so my son and I drink that every single night. Also good for your skin. So actually the apothecary mixed with the, well, not mixed, but and the super aminos together is what we call collagen in a bottle. Okay. A lot of people are eating collagen nowadays. They don't need to be eating collagen. They can be making their own collagen. So the apothecary and the super aminos together, it's the best. Okay. Purium glow. So beautify skin, combat free radical damage, and it's really great for it's anti-inflammatory. Okay, because you've got those the dark fruits in there. Okay, which are usually, when you look at dark fruits, you've got a lot of antioxidants, and anti-inflammation. And it tastes delicious, and it's my favorite. Allison does this great recipe with them where she actually makes like jelly candies with them, which I still don't know how you do it, but so you have so that's the apothecary, and then our very last product. Allison, you want to share?
Sure. And I just wanted to share, I just got these from Amazon to make our tart cherry gummies. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'll get you some.
You're gonna come over.
Yeah. So the cleanse okay. Parasite cleanse is a very, we don't talk about it in our culture as much in the Western world. We're not talking as much about parasites, but in certain countries, I know in Belize, when we were living there, and in Mexico, they're doing parasite cleanses. It's like a mandatory annual thing for children, for animals, for adults. Everyone's doing parasite cleanses. Even when we got our cats, the first thing that we did was they go through like a parasite cleanse. But for some reason, we think we don't have parasites because it's just not talked about. And we do. We all do. Some are some are out of balance. That's where there's a problem. If our body is, our own microbiome isn't as robust as it should be, we can't fight off the imbalance. And so we have an overgrowth issue, which is a very big problem. And then there's all kinds of different parasites, and different foods have different types of parasites. No one is really spared from it, because I even saw in ramen noodles today, they did I saw a study, they showed just they opened up a pack of ramen noodles and put it under a microscope, and you see little parasites in the dried ramen noodles. Like, who would think that it would be there? They are in, a lot of different, whatever. If you're eating meat and fish, for sure, there's, very high chance that you have a lot of parasites. And it's important that we control. We can't control what we eat all the time, but it's important that we do these biannual or three or four times a year to just flush out that, you know, the parasites build up, the eggs. This is really gentle. I've done parasite cleanses in the past that were really hard to follow, really expensive. I've done a parasite cleanse before Purium came into my life. I did one that was the same cost of this entire package, and it was only the parasite cleanse. So you know, there's a lot on the market with parasite cleanses. They're very complicated. They don't give you a lot of support with how to take it. And what I love about this is really you have all the food around how to take it. Your body is prepared. They actually guide you in the guide. There's, you know, it tells you when to start your parasite cleanse, and it's just really gentle. So I was able to work at the same time. I didn't have to like run to the bathroom all day. It was just a very cleansing and very easy to follow. And I felt euphoric after 6 days of this parasite cleanse. I remember very clearly my first time doing the ULT. After day 6 of the parasite cleanse portion of it, I was like on cloud 9. I had never felt so good. I felt like I couldn't even remember ever feeling that good. And I think truly a clean colon is, you know, is happiness. Like we need to clean. We don't realize we have buildup that accumulates over time that takes away our own absorption of the nutrition. It slows us down. It makes us feel sluggish and brain fog. And as soon as I started to really clean out my colon, which I hadn't, you know, done in a while when this came into my life, I started to really feel that clarity and lightness. And also it cuts the cravings, because our parasites often are also the ones craving the bad food, the starches and sugars. So it's amazing when people do clean out their colon, how their cravings just drastically change and they can, you know, feel so much better. So yeah.
Yay, thank you. I'm really excited. So the super cleanser is made with all these beautiful plants. A lot of people are buying, you know, a lot of people, I've met naturopaths and nutritionists that prepare their own cleanse, and they're buying all these ingredients separately. This one is just like all the plants are put together, and it's very gentle and it's a very easy cleanse. So I'm very excited. Like I haven't been able to do it for almost 3 years now, because I was pregnant, then I was nursing, and I think I'm done nursing now. Actually, I think my last time was yesterday. It looks like. So I'm very, very excited that in May I will be doing this parasite cleanse again for the first time in several years. So I'm very excited about that. What are you eating? So I've already mentioned this. What are you eating during this time while you're doing the ULT? A lot of people are often very concerned, like, oh my God, like, what am I going to eat? Like, can I not eat this? Can I not eat that? What about this? What about that? There are different schedules and there are different suggestions, okay? But like I said, they are suggestions. The ULT really meets you where you're at. The goal is not for it to be restrictive. You don't want it to be stressful, okay? So what we're doing is we're taking these 5 products, okay? We're still eating, right? A lot of people are like, oh, so you don't eat. Like, yes, you still eat real food, you know? But what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid processed foods and acidic foods, okay? You're trying to alkalize your body, okay? So you're trying to stay away from alcohol, of course, tobacco, of course. If you can't, it's okay. Okay, I'm a big believer in what, you know, not getting stressed, just doing the best you can by addition, okay, every day. So we're taking a break from processed foods and acidic foods, but you don't have to worry, okay? There are recommendations of what you should eat. You know, Allison has a page of like beautiful, epic, delicious recipes you can be making. But this is not a restrictive diet. And I can't stress that enough, because it really meets you where you're at. So if you want to, you know, put restrictions, if you want to do an intermittent fast, if you want to do that, it's possible to do it with this too. But it's just to say, like, wherever you are on the food, you know, the food on the food spectrum, it'll meet you where you're at. But yeah, so
I say it's a vacation from processed food. So we don't make it like this is permanent, because you can go back to eating, but you know what, you'll see you don't want those foods as much anymore. So
Yeah.
we're allowed to treat ourselves, but it creates this like balance, and it really guides you. It's an interesting thing. I think Ashley said it, it's very intuitive. Like she said in the comments there, because you add this in, and the foods guide you. So you just don't worry too much, but we say, you know, try not to eat the processed foods, the foods in boxes, and you know, refined sugars and processed seed oils and stuff.
And the truth is, when you start this, you kind of you don't even really want to, like I met my family and I were big on chips, and like since I started this, those cravings just disappear. When you give your body exactly what it needs, the cravings disappear. Like that's what's happening. So so it's not restrictive in any way. The name of the company is Purium. So the company that makes these products, and it means pure plus premium together, because we're using pure ingredients, pure and premium ingredients to make all these products. Why Purium? We promote regenerative farming. We've spoken about this. There's problems in our agriculture nowadays, a lot of monocultures, a lot of pesticides, a lot of herbicides, a lot of the GMOs. Like, so we really like to promote regenerative, organic farming, sustainable farming. We have switched now to compostable packaging, so we are now, almost completely plastic free. Which, side note, a lot of people are getting supplements and powdered foods in these like big plastic containers. Well, so we're not doing that. So already we've reduced the consumption of plastic. But not only that, when you transport, thousands of empty buckets of plastic, you're also using like truckloads and like so much gas and all that. So we're also saving there. We're lowering our carbon footprint also through the way our delivery system works within the company. Compostable packaging, we can see Allison and her daughter actually planting one of the packages into the ground. Okay, it takes 6 years to decompose. It's amazing. And also because it redistributes its profits into its consumers, which I think is a really, really wonderful thing for a company to do. And I share this because, if somebody who wants to do this and for some reason they don't have the funds to do it, there's always a way to get those funds. All they need to find is 3 people that want to do it with them, and then you have your products covered for. So that really gives equal opportunity to all of us to be able to have access to these organic whole foods. A lot of people are saying, only the wealthy can eat well. Well, we're breaking that. We're breaking that. What am I saying? we're breaking that thought, that belief, right? So this is why this is a company that aligns with me and all my values. From the environmental ethics of it, to the health ethics of it, to the community. This is also something. This is a big part of this that we didn't even touch on. But you're not doing this alone, okay? We have a Facebook group. We've got a chat going on so that nobody is doing this alone. And we do it together, and we're always there to support, help, and guide you through this with whatever it is that you might need. So this is why this company is so beautiful. There are just so many different reasons, and it's great to get healthy together. It's a really beautiful thing to feel good together and to do it together. And so I would like to thank you for your time. This was longer than I had intended, but I hope you guys got a little, golden nuggets out of this call. If it's something that you want to do, you reach out to the person who invited you here, which is pretty much me, and more or less me, I think. And yeah, I really hope that, you find exactly what you're looking for in having come here tonight. And thank you so much, so much, so much for coming.
Thank you, Kieve.
I've stopped recording. Does anyone have, questions or comments or thank you, Anna. I'm so happy you came and that you took the time to come. That's amazing. And oh yeah, you're back. It's so nice to. Oh, I'm still recording.